Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mihala Frățilă from WWF Romania, and I will introduce you in our case study topic, which is small-scale farming in Transylvania and Maramureș. This is a nice picture from high natural value farmland, the landscape in Transylvanian highlands. Just to give you an idea where the areas are situated in Romania, I will briefly mention that Transylvania is located in the center part of the country and Maramureș in the northern part of the country. Both areas are high natural value farmland with a fragmented agriculture landscape maintained by traditional livestock grazing systems. Both areas are characterized by small plots of cultivated land based on extensive management, and most of the farms are semi-subsistence family farms, typically producing a mixed range of food and feed, and also a combination between grazing livestock and crops. This picture shows us the manual haymaking in Maramureș area. Our research dilemma is how to increase the economic viability of small-scale farming, keeping in the same time the cultural landscape and the biodiversity high. Additional questions were raised during the implementation of the project, and I will mention three of them. How do small-scale farms perform on the three pillars of sustainability: economic, social, and environment? If the status quo will be changed in the future, how can both regions continue to provide their people and the consumers in general quality food, a cultural identity, and ecological benefits, and how we can reward smallholders for their contribution to biodiversity? Our case study consists in 10 farms, from organic and traditional to transition farms and conventional farms. 4 farms raise cattle for dairy, another 4 raise cattle for meat, and there are also 2 other mixed farms with livestock and crops. So in terms of the stage of transition, we are struggle to keep the status quo and to ensure a long-term sustainability and upscale the agroecological practices that already exist in the both regions. In terms of main sustainability issue, most of them are related to social dynamics, the fact that there is a depopulation and aging of villages, and there is a loss in terms of indigenous knowledge, the market pressures, and the fact that small and family firms are not linked with the market, and the decent local incomes as a consequence of the insufficient entrepreneurial skills. The key actors involved in the local map was the farmers and farmers association, public institutions, consultants, research institution, local action groups, and NGOs. Agroecological practices that was identified and also analyzed during the project are the crop rotation, including cover crops and nitrogen fixing crops on arable land, producing and using the compost, agroecological landscape features, orchards, meadows, and wood pasture, mixed farming, and extensive grazing. I will briefly go through all the agroecological practices, and I will start with the crop rotation on arable land. In Romania, the crop rotation practice includes legumes with the lucerne or a combination of lucerne and the common vetch. In terms of the benefits, this practice provide the benefits for soil quality and reduce need for pesticides and chemical fertilizer, and in the same time could increase the need for labor or for other facilities. The second agroecological practice is producing or using the compost compost. Traditionally in Romania, the compost is made from manure and it is sourced internally or from neighboring farms. It was identified to be a practice that could bring an extra income at the farm level. In terms of the benefits, there promotes the growth and health of plants, and also reducing the dependence on external synthetic fertilizer, but could also have a kind of disadvantages associated with the emissions and also water pollution from the improper storage of manure during the fermentation. Orchards, meadows, and wood pastures are emblematic features of the landscape. In terms of the benefits, they are perform better on the animal welfare and offer better conditions for cross pollination, high biodiversity in terms of birds and insects, and they can also improve their income at the farm level. But in terms of trade-offs, they involve labor and investment costs and also have good entrepreneurial skills. Extensive grazing. This practice is characteristic of the hilly lands where cattle have been raised from generation to generation in family farms according to a certain customs. In terms of the benefits, this practice offer higher carbon stocking potential, better water quality, soil quality, and also could bring an extra income depending on the consumer willingness to pay a premium price for these products. And also in terms of the trade-offs, could be and need to have investment in the processing and marketing to create a market position based on these products. The last agro-ecological practice is mixed farming. In our case study, almost all farms studied in the project are mixed farms, combining livestock with crops cultivated on arable land and the grasslands for grazing or haymaking. In terms of benefits, this practice allows a better risk management and economic resilience because of the diverse income streams provided by the various farm produce, and also offer possibilities and opportunities for perpetuation of indigenous knowledge associated with managing self-sufficient farms. So barriers and the challenges identified in the case study. I will mention lack of information and advisory services for the agroecological practices, and also the fact that these advisory services are not tailored to support a differentiated system for small, medium, and large farms. There is also a lack of public funding and public infrastructure to support a proper management in terms of agroecological practices. Agricultural education is not adapted to the present and to the future challenges related to topics like climate change or biodiversity loss. In terms of hygiene and food safety standards, they are more strict and complex for small producers. And we need also to connect the small producers with the market because there is insufficient or even lack of market access for this. And eligibility criteria, area-based direct subsidies in our country came with an obligation to clear woody vegetation from the agricultural land if it exceeds 100 square meters. Key actions and instruments to tackle the barriers and the challenges identified in the last slide. We need an integrated package of new tools for mainstreaming compost and enhancing nitrogen use efficiency. The transfer of knowledge and good practices should be done through AKIS, and we need to strengthen the cooperation between all the actors in the field and beyond. We also need to promote and to raise awareness about the quality and healthy food that are coming from the smallholders. In terms of the infrastructures at the local level, like mobile processing units, collective storage, and so on, should be created by the town halls and the county council. In terms of the public procurement legislation, we need to be more on the green side and should take into account other criteria than the price, which could be also the short supply chain or the local needs, and also to favor the local products coming from the extensive farms. And should also be a balance between the subsidies in the member states, because the subsidies has an impact on the market price and could create unfair competition for local producers. In terms of key lessons learned, our conclusion is that agroecological practices require additional effort, which is not valued by the market and properly supported by policymakers. We need to understand the system, the complexity of the system, and the fact that we need to integrate various components in this system, and to acknowledge the fact that economic benefits are not immediate. Consumers need to be more educated and to be more open-minded to use different and alternative food distribution channels. The small-scale farms need to be preserved and integrated in a regional or territorial strategy. And in order to keep them alive and to survive this farming system, we need a strong advocacy and political will, both on the national and the European level. Farmers and producers need to stay together, to stick together, and to join associative structures in order to gain more visibility and power in the food chain and also in the policy making. So thank you very much for your attention. Don't hesitate to get in touch if you need more information about the small farming system in Romania. Thank you.